Alright, so Greb has been one of my favorite drummers for a really long time, and every now and then you'll see some random clip of him playing a groove and it is just In this video, I'm going to break down that groove. We're going to take it and dissect it to make it easier to learn, and I'm going to show you how to use the Moises app to learn things like this really easily. Let's go. Cool, so this is mostly a linear groove, except for the first two beats where Benny plays the bass drum and the hi-hat at the same time, but the rest of it is just one thing at a time. What I'm going to look at here is just the first groove that he plays. We're just going to focus on one bar and then just repeat it. He does a few embellishments there, but we're going to focus on the main idea here. So before we get to the notation, I'm just going to show you how I get there. I use this app called Moises, which is a part remover app and is actually one of the best part remover apps I know of. I found out about Moises a few years ago, and the app has just been updated since then. They keep adding new things which are really cool. So how I learn things like this that Benny's playing is I will take the audio and drop it into Moises, and the app will then separate parts. So this is just a drum video. It's just got drums. There's no actual separation to be done, but what you can usually do with Moises is you'll put a full song there and it will separate the drums, it will separate the guitar, and then you can use those stems to kind of mute parts so that you can play along, or you can isolate drum parts to learn them. So that's what I usually do to learn drum parts with Moises, is I will isolate those drum parts so that I can focus on exactly what's being played there without hearing instruments. But back to this example now, it's Benny playing, this is just drums, and here it is loaded onto the Moises app. The next thing the Moises app is really cool for is it has this thing called a smart metronome, which recognizes the tempo that whatever you put in there is being played at. So the metronome will tell you how fast it is, and then what you can do is turn it on so that you get a click along with the drumming, and then you can slow it down so that you can hear more clearly what's happening, and you can practice along slowly with that metronome. For now, let's just stick with what we hear. We have now used Moises to isolate the drum parts. We've added a click to kind of get a feel for the tempo. I can now hear exactly what Benny's playing. So essentially, here's the groove, right? I've put the groove on the screen, but we're going to make it easier to learn. We're going to break the groove up into 4 parts. First part's really easy. It's just 2 eighth notes on the bass drum and the hi-hat. We're going to first focus on playing the next 3 parts one by one. Here we go on the drums. This first part, you're going to play a left hand rim shot on the snare drum, followed by a ghost note, then a hi-hat, ghost note, hi-hat, ghost note, left foot hi-hat. That hi-hat on the left foot can be quite tricky if you're not used to playing that. The next section is similar to a really common right-left-left kick lick that a lot of people play, but instead of playing a bass drum, you're going to play the hi-hat foot again. So it's going to go right on the hi-hat, left on ghost note on the snare, and then hi-hat foot, and you're going to loop that. Last section, you're going to play the same pattern as section 2, but now instead of playing a hi-hat foot at the end, you're going to play a bass drum. Cool, now you can just put everything together so you can start that slow and then speed it up. But before I get there, I just want to go back to the Moises app. They recently introduced this new feature called sections, where you upload a song and they categorize it for you. So if you upload a normal song in there, like a general pop song, it will then show you where the chorus and the bridge and the verses are, and then you can loop those sections, which is insanely cool. How that works here for this Benny Greb groove is, for this video, I only wanted to learn the first groove. So what sections did is it recognized the first 4 bars that Benny played, and we're just going to loop that. So here's what that sounds like on sections. So then you can take the smart metronome, slow that section down, loop it as you are playing this PDF transcription. You can kind of just have Benny's drumming at the same time so that you know that you're playing the right thing. Let's move on to the drums. Here it is, played slow and then sped up. And that's that. That's a really cool Benny Greb groove. It's linear mostly, like I said in the beginning, so you really need to focus on giving enough space between each note to make it sound clean. I do not sound anywhere near as clean as what Benny Greb plays that, but the goal is just to learn that, really focus on playing it as tightly and accurately as possible, and then the clean sounding drumming comes. The last time, this is all possible because I used the Moises app to kind of get this going. If you want to try out Moises, there's a link in the description of this video. You can either use it on a web browser or you can use the phone app. And what's cool is that every time I use it on the web browser, everything just syncs to the phone app. So I'll be working on my laptop at one point, then I'll be out, and then I may have a drum kit somewhere and I want to practice, just pull out the phone app. Everything that you did on the computer just kind of moves over automatically, which is cool. Thanks guys. I'll see you in the next one.